There was one last issue that started during my time on the National Security Council staff that would carry over into my work at the State Department with Assistant Secretary Richard Holbrooke. And this started on a day kind of in the summer of 1976 when an U.S. Information Agency officer named Ronald Humphrey asked to come and see me. He was a U.S. government employee. USIA, the U.S. Information Agency, was just 1 block away from the NSC. And I said, sure, come on over, I'm happy to see you. So he came over and comes in my office and got a little older than me, but had served in Vietnam. And so we said a few things. And he told me that his fiancé, a Vietnamese woman, had been trapped in Saigon, unable to get out, unable to become a refugee, and that he was endeavoring to find a way for her to be released. And I expressed surprise, and I said I felt terrible for him and so sorry that this had happened. I felt, lucky myself that my wife's family had gotten out, but and I was sure there were others like him, or people were trapped behind. And he said that he was making efforts to work with and through people who did have some connections in Vietnam. And particularly, he was working through people who had been in the anti-war movement. And they tended to congregate at a place called the Indochina Resource Center. I had never been there. It was well known as kind of a hangout, reading room, place where those who were leading the anti-war movement would gather and issue statements and had documents. And he said, I'm in touch with people like this, and I go there to see them, but I thought, gosh, I better check to make sure it's okay. And I said, look, the war is over. The politics of the war, the pro-war, anti-war, is now something behind us. It's all been decided. I don't think anybody would object to your going and talking to people, and you're being, upfront about this. And he thanked me, and I thought, not anybody I'll ever see again, and hoped he had some success, not realizing that I would see him again and again, and that this conversation would lead to one of the most significant national security issues. It would lead to the creation of what are known as the FISA courts, the intelligence surveillance warrants, and it would lead to my eventually appearing as a witness in Alexandria in the biggest espionage trial of that decade and perhaps the second half of the 20th century.